Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football. If you're playing a limitless chip in Matchday 3, I've come up with a team for you guys. At the moment, there's a couple of issues like Saka has a knock, Lamine Yamal has a knock, so we're not really sure that they're going to be fit by next week, but obviously we're going to see them over the weekend, whether they're going to feature or not. But I've come up with a team that I think is the best team to go for if you're planning to play a limitless in Matchday 3. Now, for me, I already used that limitless in Matchday 2, scored highly, 100+ points. So I was quite happy with that and how it worked out. But no more limitless chip for me. But if you still have yours and you're planning to play it, then this is a team I have come up with. So there's a couple of good fixtures this week, like Man City playing against Sparta, and Inter Milan are traveling to Young Boys, AC Milan are hosting Club Brugge, Atalanta playing against Celtic, Arsenal hosting Shakhtar. So a lot of good fixtures. So first up, let's put in Erling Haaland. I think that is such a good fixture against Sparta. Against Sparta, you can't ignore it. Now, is there a chance he could be rested? There is, but with the limitless chip, you're always on the positive side. You can always have 15 top players. Even if Haaland doesn't play, you have other options. If you get any news before then, you have other options to go for. But Erling Haaland has to be in your team for that fixture against Sparta Prague at home. Even if he plays 45 minutes, he can easily score 2 goals, and then he can be rested later on. Inter Milan are traveling to Young Boys, and Young Boys have not scored a goal so far this season in the Champions League, and Inter Milan have not considered one yet. And the last away game that Inter Milan played, they kept a clean sheet against Man City at the Etihad. So that could easily mean another clean sheet in this game, which I'm expecting, which means we have to go for Inter Milan defenders. Now, I'm never the type to go full throttle and go with 3 defensive players from Inter Milan. You could go for it if you're very, very confident and you're able to take risks like that. You could go for their left back, which is Augusto, who's been playing in the Champions League games, and then Bastoni and Sommer. But for me, I have gone for just Bastoni and Sommer in goal. I think that is 2 good ones to have there. If they keep a clean sheet, well and good. Which day? Well, let me just confirm which day they're playing. The 23rd. The 23rd, is it the Tuesday or the Wednesday? Let me just confirm that. I can check it here. But I reckon that is let me just confirm. Let me just quickly confirm if they're playing on the Tuesday or the Wednesday. It doesn't really matter though that much. Bastoni, I'm sure there's going to be a clean sheet here. Let me check. So yeah, they're playing on the second day. So Inter Milan are playing on the second day, which is not a big issue. The worst I think Bastoni can do here, even if Young Boys score, you expect like 4 points from Bastoni. And so I usually prefer doubling up on a team if they're playing on the Tuesday. So if things go completely wrong, you can just change them on the Wednesday. But I'm very confident in Inter Milan in this particular game, so I'm going to go for Bastoni and Sommer as the defenders. I did say at the beginning that Saka and Yamal are doubts, but I have included Saka in the limitless team. Playing at home to Shakhtar is on set pieces, is on penalties, corners, free kicks. He scored in the last game against PSG. Always a great option. If Arsenal keep a clean sheet, he gets an extra point. He also does a lot of defensive work, so he can get you a lot of ball recovery. So I have gone with Saka in midfield. Next up, I thought about going with an Inter Milan forward player. Thuram didn't play the last game. Lautaro Martinez could be an option, but Taremi started the last game. Lautaro Martinez came on. Çalhanoğlu in midfield could be an option, but I think there's so many other different options as well. So first up, I've gone for Liverpool, Mohamed Salah in midfield. Do I have to explain? Leipzig haven't been that great in terms of defense. And Liverpool, Mohamed Salah, penalties and all, and he's always involved in everything. Usually I can't afford Salah in my team. The only time I get to have Salah in my team is when I'm playing the Limitless or if I'm playing the Wildcard to get him in. And I don't usually get that privilege because there's usually so many midfielders, and I always go for Saka. The previous seasons, I've always had to go for Bellingham. You'll always find Man City that good fixture, and then you're thinking whether to go for a Foden or a Doku. But Salah is always a great option, especially if you're playing a Limitless. It's owned by 25%. If you play a Limitless, it's always going to deliver for you. So Mohamed Salah in midfield is my next midfield. Let's go back to defense. Juventus very, very good defensively so far this season, so you have to go with their defender. Cambias has been picked a lot by a lot of different people this season. He's only selected by 2%, but for those people who are going for Juventus defender, a lot of people have had Cambias. But I'm going to go for a differential here. Both of them are owned by 2%, but you get what I mean. So I'm going to go with the Bremer different option there. Cambias is fine as well. He goes forward a lot. I think he even scored during the international break for Italy, but I've gone for Bremer there. That's just a hint, but you can always just a feeling that I have for Bremer this week. But no problem if you go with Cambiaso. Once again, Arsenal's defense is so good, 2 clean sheets in 2 games in the Champions League so far. So you have to go with either Saliba or Gabriel there, and ball recoveries and all that, attacking threats, they're both so good. I'm not confident enough to double up on them, but if you feel confident, you can always double up on them. Very good in terms of even attacking. Even if Shakhtar score, you could easily find Gabriel scoring this game and Saliba getting a minimum of 5 points. And then I've also picked a Leverkusen player. Defensively, they're almost like strikers. It's either Grimaldo or Frimpong, but I've chosen Frimpong for this week. Brest have been doing well. They're going to away to Brest, and Brest are actually above Leverkusen on the Champions League table. I think Brest is second, and Frimpong's Leverkusen are fourth. But I've picked him for this particular week. I think any of them is okay, to be honest. I think any of them is absolutely fine. Both of them are very attacking. It's like having 7 midfielders. If you have both of them, it's easily considered like you have 7 midfielders pretty much, because they are so attacking. Now, from this point on, there's so many other players you can pick. These ones are the ones that I think the Inter Milan defenders, Saliba, Haaland, those are the ones that you must have. The rest of the players literally varies. You could go for, if you feel confident in Real Madrid playing against Dortmund, you could go for a forward player. But for me, I've ignored Real Madrid and Real Madrid's attack. I've decided to go with Bellingham, who's going to be featuring against his former team. So let me go to midfield. I'm not going to go for any mid defenders from Madrid for this one. I think Dortmund are going to score. So I have gone for Jude Bellingham in midfield. Not the best pick. I don't think it's a big issue if you don't go for Bellingham and if you don't go for any Real Madrid players this particular week. This was actually the Champions League final last season, Real Madrid against Dortmund. Bellingham, I think, assisted Vinicius in the Champions League final last season. So maybe another attacking return here. And it's owned by 24%. So always great, always safe as well to go for a couple of players who are highly owned. I've also decided to go for Vats, despite me saying Brest have been very, very good. I've decided to go for Vats in midfield. He's been incredible so far this season. He's highly selected as well. He's not currently in my team, in my actual team. But for Limitless, if I was playing a Limitless this week, I would definitely go for Vats. Up front, I have decided to go for Havertz. Havertz has been an incredible form for Arsenal. Again, this is one that you don't really have to have. If you decide to go for like Mbappe or Rodrigo or someone, you can't go for Havertz. Or if you ignore the Barcelona and Bayern fixture and you just decide to go for either Kane or Lewandowski, then you can go for them. But for this one, I've just looked at the fixture and I think Havertz has a better fixture than the others. So I think Havertz is the best pick in terms of forward. And then he's been scoring, he's been assisting regularly for Arsenal. So I think it is a good pick. So Kai Havertz up front. The next 4 positions: backup goalkeeper, last defender, last midfield, and the last forward player. I have gone for a very, very different player from Juventus. Not many people usually select him. I've gone for Vlahovic. He's currently selected by 6%. He's 8 million, so you can even afford him if you're playing your wildcard, if you're just making transfers. He's been on very, very good form and is at home to Stuttgart. Stuttgart are not an easy team, but Vlahovic has been really good in the Champions League so far this season, so you can go for him as a differential. Once again, if you prefer the players from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, or maybe a Watkins from Aston Villa, that is well and good. If you don't want to go for too many differentials in Havertz and Vlahovic, absolutely no problem. But if I was playing my Limitless today, I would have that front line. And maybe if I was, pushed to go for, a Real Madrid player or Barcelona player or someone, then maybe I would remove Vlahovic. Then last up in midfield, I'm going to go for Man City double up for sure in going up front. Actually, the next 2 players are both from Man City. I think that fixture is too good to ignore. They could easily keep a clean sheet, and that means Foden. I had him in my Limitless last match day, and he delivered. So I'm going to have him in this one as well. I think he got a goal and an assist, if I'm not wrong. Let me just confirm that. Phil Foden, last match against Bratislava. Yeah, he got a goal, he assisted, and he also got player of the match. So that worked out well for me. So I've gone for Phil Foden, and then I've also gone for Gvardiol in defense. Once again, you could go for Gvardiol or Ruben Diaz, whoever you prefer, but I think you have to double up or triple up on Man City this particular week. If you're targeting fixtures, which you should be doing if you're playing a Limitless, then you have to triple up on Man City and double up on Arsenal, and double up or maybe even triple up on Inter Milan. I think those are very, very good fixtures. Last player I've picked for the goalkeeper, I've gone for Aston Villa. Emi Martinez is the goalkeeper that I've picked. And once again, for goalkeepers, you could go for a differential if you prefer. It's just up to you, like which one you'd prefer. But I've gone for Emi Martinez in goal. So again, there's other options that you could go for. You could decide to, go for Trossard instead of Havertz if you prefer. You could go for Gabriel instead of Saliba. You could go for Cambias instead of Bremer from Juventus. You could triple up on Inter Milan if you prefer. You could ignore Frimpong or Havertz if you think that fixture is tough. You could, obviously pick players from Real Madrid like a Rudiger if you prefer. A lot of different options, but for me, if I was playing my Limitless, that would be the team. Obviously, you can't afford it if you're not playing a Limitless. This team would cost around 110 million.